Hey YouTube, it's Moogle847 again, and I am here to review Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, granted, I wanted to get all these reviews done before we hit the release of Force Awakens, and didn't quite make it. And also kind of wanted to get this out before Nostalgia Critic did his, and still failed. So, alright, well, we'll just get this over with. So, the idea with Star Wars Attack of the Clones, it's supposed to be a love story, with, of course, the plots of trying to go up and have intergalactic politics and all that good garbage. We all hate it. Anyway, so, the story revolves around the former Queen Amidala, who is now Senator Amidala. And she goes up and she decides to, or is trying to help stop a vote to raise a military force because a bunch of the planets and planetary systems have left the Republic and have started kind of fighting back. And they need to do something to help the Jedi, because the Jedi are spread too thin trying to fight all these forces, and they just can't do it on their own. So, the Supreme Chancellor is trying to go up and trying to do whatever he can to maybe see about trying to raise a bit of an army. Well, of course, all this ends up backfiring as the senator ends up getting attacked by a bounty hunter. And after she is attacked by this bounty hunter, we then get to meet Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker again. Now, this time, Obi-Wan is now a full-fledged Jedi Knight, and Anakin is his Padawan learner. Unfortunately, Anakin has this problem where he just is too anxious, too wanting to just go out there and prove himself. He's too full of himself, and it's a problem. But at least this time, the change up for this is that instead of Anakin being played by Jake Lloyd, he's now being played by Hayden Christensen. And so Christensen is doing what he can with the material, considering the fact that he just got the character shoved onto him. So once again, for everybody sitting there belly aching and complaining all over the place about like how bad any of these actors are in these movies, once again I will say, look at the director and look at the screenwriter, because if they are screwing it up, then they're screwing up the whole movie. These actors have to do whatever they can with the material they're given, and if it's not completely right, it is not their fault. So, we get this whole awkward love thing between Padme and Anakin, and it's, yeah, I've at this point, Twilight had a better love story. I went there. God help me, I went there. So, you have that. You also have a whole plot of Obi-Wan trying to hunt down this bounty hunter. Finds that there is a clone army being made for the Republic. And you also hear about a Jedi Master that might have actually caused this to, happen. Unfortunately, we pretty much just get a name, and that's it. Well, we get a name of the guy and learn that he died, and that's all we get. That's it. That's just all we get. Just one loose end plot thread that started and never went anywhere. Thanks, George Lucas. So, you get all this stuff happening. Eventually, Obi-Wan ends up being captured. The Jedi are going to send a rescue party, but Anakin and Padme decide to go check it out first, and blah 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 stuff happens, and we eventually start what's called the Clone War. Now, the other thing that is worth mentioning in this is that there is also a plot thread of Anakin trying to go back and see his mother, which is fine, and it does really good. Unfortunately, his mother passes away. And when she does that, because she passes away right in his arms, he loses it and kills all these creatures that were actually holding her. And yeah, it's his first step toward the dark side of the Force. Hooray! And yeah, that's about all the farther I'm going to go on spoilers on that. So, anyway, the other things that were really nice about this movie, once again, John Williams did a good score. However, his breakout piece they did for this one, unlike the first one, which was Duel of Fates, was a song called Across the Stars. Yeah, he kind of likes the three-word titles. But John Williams went up and wrote Across the Stars, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. But I still have only one problem with it, and that is the fact that as good as the piece is, I think I still like the love theme between Ilia and Decker from Star Trek The Motion Picture. I still like that one better, because, I mean, as good as John Williams is, the Jerry Goldsmith score for that was absolutely phenomenal. Because it was a love theme, but it definitely sounded spacey, and that was just awesome. So, overall, I give Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, a pretty good score. I mean, it's an okay movie again. And surprisingly, I think it's actually a little more boring compared to the first movie. I mean, as good as the first movie was about talking about all these politics and this, that, and the other, you get to this movie, and I'm pretty much passing out about midway through the first act and into third act. I can't help it, this movie's just boring. But, like I said, it tried to be a love story. And looking at it from the standpoint of someone that, like I said, is trying to look at this from someone that's never seen the series before, it's boring, but it's not completely god-awful, but it's definitely weaker than the first. Now, looking at it from the standpoint of the trilogy, it's god-awful. I'm sorry. It's just bad. So, there you go. Alright, well, hey, this is Moogle 847, and that was my review. I will talk to you guys a little later. Alright, bye.